But Kevin, being that it's 2020 now, Guido Vianello is getting buzz as an undefeated heavyweight, and then you got Ryan Martin, who just a little over a year ago was in position to beat the best guy in the division, and Josh Taylor. What do you think for both guys heading in? We'll start with Ryan, I guess. Ryan Martin.
Look, Ryan's been with us for the last couple of months, and Ryan had 2019 off.
Right.
He regrouped. He made a few changes in his life. He was coming off his first loss. A very, very elite fighter, a very skillful fighter, a guy who's been boxing his whole life. From the age of 6,
and tough guy too.
A couple of hundred amateur fights. Was one of the top amateurs in America. Tremendous career as a professional. Took 19 off, regrouped, changed his trainer, changed where he was training, changed his manager. He's looking for a new promoter, and the opportunity came. My son Taylor, had a few meetings with Ryan, and we decided to make a little bit of a trial for a week, and we liked each other, and we've just built from there over the last 2 months. And we're excited to have him in the gym. I think he's a very talented fighter, a fighter who he's made the commitment. He's moved himself and his lovely girlfriend Gabi to Vegas. He feels good here in the gym. We have good chemistry. We've made a few little changes to his technique. He's a very, very big 140. Well, he may even go back to 135. He only had 2 fights at 140, but he's 5'11". Mm-hmm. So I want him to use that height and to use that reach, and that's something that we've been working diligently on. And I think he can have better control of the ring if he does that. But I think there's a lot of good things in Ryan's future. We're just now trying to get him in a position to get him back in the ring.
The rebuilding with you and him, this is really, it's just started. I haven't even had one fight yet. No. But I gotta ask, when you watched his fight with Josh Taylor, did you say, if this kid adjusted this, adjusted that, he has the ability and the talent to fight on even terms with a Josh Taylor?
Look, everyone that I run into in the boxing world all say good things about Ryan. Everyone knows the talent that he possesses. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you get a little flat and a little complacent, and you need to change. And I think we are that change for him. Mm-hmm. And as I mentioned before, the chemistry is good. I think that I think that we'll be able to get the best out of him, and that excites me and it excites our team moving forward.
Do you think maybe after the first performance or first 2 performances, he'll get that deal with a promoter, a major promoter?
I
think the improvements you guys make.
I try to. My challenge to myself and my son is everyone that we work with, we try and make better. Mm-hmm. And our record's pretty good for doing that. I know I'm going to make Ryan a better fighter. And so I'm looking for someone to give him the opportunity. We'll get him. He's like, his fight name is Blue Chip. Everyone when they want to play the share market, you go after Blue Chip. This is a Blue Chip guy. We see that, and we think by the end of 2020, that Blue Chip guy will be in big demand.
And I got to ask about Guido Vianello, your heavyweight from Rome.
Well, Guido had a change in trainer last year. He was training up in Big Bear, and his manager, Sam Jones, had a couple of meetings with my son Taylor, and then I got involved, and we had 2 fights with Guido in the last half of 2019. Mm-hmm. For a young guy who was really just beginning his career, we fought a 7-1 guy and an 8-1 guy, and the 8-1 fighter was really supposed to be a bit of a step-up test for him, and he demolished him in 40 seconds of the first round. You know, so look, I'm very hot on this guy. I think that he's got tremendous potential. He is extremely disciplined and dedicated in the gym. A great trainer in the gym. I think that 2020 will be a very exciting year, but another building year for him as we develop him from, a 6-rounder to an 8-round fighter and possibly a 10-round fighter by the end of 2020.
I asked him about what he's improving on with you in the gym. A lot of fighters give a generic answer, but he talked about it like a coach. He's my balance, my speed, my movement, and what do you like about this kid's talent?
They are all things. He's a gifted athlete. And and all we're doing is we're giving him the tools to become a great fighter. And I love the fact that he's athletic and he's 6'6". I love the way we've got his jab going now. I love the way that we've closed his stance up to enable him to sit down a little more on his punches, to increase his power, to improve his balance. And all this is developing, and he can see the improvements. He can feel it in the gym. He gets the big reward on fight day when he goes out there and puts it all on display, but he knows he's becoming better. And I think everyone can see it, that this is going to be a fighter for the future.
I just see it coming down the road that as he continues to win fights, they're going to say he's talented, like you said, good athlete, but he's this big, good-looking guy from Rome. Is he tough? Is there a real fighter spirit there? What would you say to that?
Oh my God, he's very tough, very physical, very determined. He ticks all the boxes for me. He's got a great chin.
Are you excited about him like you were with Joe?
He's got a very big motor. He goes and goes and goes and goes, and you have to really grind him to tire him. I love the motor that he has. So and discipline is something that's very important. Well, he's got miles of discipline. So I think he's definitely one for the future. One I'm very excited to be working with.
So he's on the tier, the caliber that Joe was as a prospect. You felt
most definitely, but this is early. Joe was fighting 10-round fights in his 5th fight. But we were doing it out of New Zealand, and it was a different approach. This is a different step, but one that's been working very well for us.
And lastly, Kev, just because I've probably asked you this already in past interviews, but Terrence Crawford and Spence, they've had some fun on Twitter. If and when they ever fight, who would you think would win that fight?
Well, I'll tell you what, I was one of those guys that I always thought the Spence would be too physical, hit too hard, and would probably edge out Crawford. Not now, I don't. After his last fight, more or less immediately after the fight with Porter, I thought, oh my God, Terrence Crawford has the skill, has the hand speed, has the accurate punching to be able to beat a guy like Errol Spence, and I'm definitely drifting towards Crawford now.
Even though
I hope that fight takes place.
Even though Crawford had a few shaky moments himself against Mean Machine.
I don't think he was motivated.
Right.
It was a very hard fight for him to get motivated.
Right.
And when he decided to put the foot down and change gear, he's a different person. He knows against Errol Spence, he doesn't have to look for motivation in a fight like that.
We talk sometimes about punching while the other guy punches, and man, Crawford's really good at that, isn't he?
Oh yes.
So
he's up the top for sure.
Well, thanks so much, Kevin. I know I kept you long. Just thanks so much for having us as always, Kevin.
My pleasure, my friend.
Thank you.